And are you seeing specific industries are becoming more important than others from, what you, so like one industrial park that you guys have put together, or you guys are also putting on the market here and developing, are you seeing maybe more industries than others?
Yes. You see, there are many industries among the ones that are being attracted to this side of the world. Mexico has a very strong automotive industry, and that is still happening. Now it's happening with electric vehicles. It's happening with Chinese automotive companies that are looking at a market in Mexico, and also a trampoline to go to other latitudes like the U.S. probably, maybe that's a big maybe, or even Central and South America. So the automotive industry is very important here in the country. The microchips is starting to be more important because, as you know, right now that is being handled mainly by countries like China and Taiwan and
Korea,
yeah, Korea.
South
Yeah,
Korea.
exactly. So those, I mean, even though, for instance, Taiwan, that's a big question mark in the eyes of the U.S. because you never know what could happen. Hopefully, it doesn't, but could. So they're trying to get that industry into the U.S. And probably having part of that supply chain in Mexico, which is already happening. Nvidia announced recently a new facility through Foxconn, which is a Taiwanese company as well, in Mexico to start manufacturing microchips here in Guadalajara. So that's just one. But that, for instance, here in Guadalajara, there's companies like Intel, HP, HPE, IBM. Um, I don't know. Many other companies of that nature are established here, specifically in Guadalajara. So the electronic industry is also big here in Mexico. I would say those two are the most representative. I mean, of course there's many other industries like the furniture industry. That's a good and strong industry. Clothing industry, even though we don't get a lot of manufacturing from the outside, it is a strong industry in the country, and it does a lot of exportation. There's a lot of those. Now, if you're asking me what's getting bigger attention is anything that is within the automotive industry, which is huge. I mean, when you hear automotive, you imagine the wheels and the doors and the knobs and things like that. But there's a ton of other products that are part of the automotive industry that you probably don't see when you get into a car. So that is very, very important. Chassis and stuff like that. And throughout the northern part of the Mexico border, of the Mexico-U.S. border, there is tons of infrastructure and factories of products that are partially manufactured in Mexico. You see, because of USMCA now and NAFTA before, there is a model that has been copied in other countries in which a product or a partial product can be sent from one side of the border to another several times to be processed and transformed in different ways. And that happens in the US Mexico border several times for billions of dollars a day, every day, all year long. Tijuana, which is a city in the northwest part, it's border with San Diego in California. Tijuana is the busiest um, border in the world. The busiest border in the world. The border between Laredo, Mexico, New Laredo, Mexico, and Laredo, Texas, is the busiest commercial border in the world. So you can imagine the size of the business that is being done daily between Mexico and the US.
And this is happening where they send the same product back and forth. Why? Like, it's just cheaper for them to. So, for example, again, the company I exited earlier this year, we had a contract with, again, for privacy's sake, I won't share it, but a company that does a lot of aluminum products and they would get the smaller pieces, like, I don't know, just parts of the car. That's the only thing that and large companies, right? They would manufacture the aluminum from that and then ship that single piece into the manufacturer and then have them finalize the car itself and whatnot. Is that because of trading is cheaper, or like, I don't understand how it would be cheaper for such logistics to go back and forth multiple times for a single product, right? Is that labor? Is that taxes? What is that? Do you know?
It is a combination of all of what you mentioned. But let me put you an example. Let me give you, this is a regular calculator, Casio calculator. Okay, you've seen these many times. This is just an example. I'm not saying this actually is being manufactured like this, but let's say that you manufacture, no, you make a partial process of this calculator here in Mexico. So you import the buttons from somewhere. It could be China, could be other country. So you import this, and they ship you the case. Okay, so you get it into your facility, and you actually put the buttons on the calculator, and then you send it back to the US. And then let's say they will probably put some color in it afterwards. Just imagine that's the process. Or they put the screen on it, or they actually put it together as it is. So that process can be going up and down, and it's partially because of how the USMCA now NAFTA before has been established between the countries. So every time this crosses, it doesn't pay tax because it's what we call a temporary importation. So as long as this is not sold here in Mexico, after we put the buttons in, so it doesn't pay any taxes. Okay, but it does create jobs. It creates, because when the company puts the button in, they charge for that. Of course, they pay employees for that work. They have different things around that. So that creates an economy, a full economy. So that is a model that works very well, and has been working very well for decades now.
What's going on, guys? If you like that clip right there, you will love the full interview. You can check that out right there. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, and subscribe, because we got a lot of big things coming up in the near future.